Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boy's TV. Here we are,
with my computer and my Wi-Fi today, so I hope you can hear me and you can see me okay. If you can hear me and see me, let me know. I want to say good morning to everybody and welcome to drboystv.com. This is the home for intelligent black people, so if you're not black and intelligent, you probably want to get out of here. This is not the place for you. So anyway, one of the things I was doing this morning is I got up and I wanted to say, first of all, the stock market has been acting absolutely crazy. This morning, if you are a stock investor, which I believe everybody should invest in the stock market, you probably saw you probably saw a big drop in your stock portfolio this morning, and then you saw like this really almost instantaneous recovery. So it's just kind of crazy. It's kind of out of control. But remember, the goal is to be a long-term investor, not a short-term investor. So don't panic over the short-term fluctuations. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about this interesting story that somebody brought to my attention about a brother that's on Love and Hip Hop. His name was Maurice Thane. I don't know Maurice Thane. I can't say. It seems like based on what I'm reading, we probably don't have too much in common. But I thought the story was interesting. Everybody's talking about it, so I thought I would give some insights into it. Give me a yes or no if you heard this story about Maurice Thane and the whole situation with the feds and these PPP loans. The government's giving out these PPP loans to businesses to help businesses get on their feet. And they are claiming that there are a lot of people who are abusing the PPP loan process. I see B Field says he's innocent. Okay, I hope that he's innocent. I really hope so. Anyway, let me pull this up. While I pull this up, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that real quick. And what's up on Instagram? My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. You can also follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. So here's what is being stated in Atlanta Journal prosecution, or Atlanta Journal and prosecution. Look at me, that's a Freudian slip. Atlanta Journal and Constitution, not prosecution. It's Constitution, not prosecution, boys. Focus. All right, we're gonna focus. All right, we about right finna focus. All right, so federal prosecutors have charged a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star with bank fraud after authorities said he used funds from the Paycheck Protection Program to purchase expensive jewelry, lease a car, and make child support payments. Okay. Maurice Thane, who goes by the name Arkansas Mo on the hit VH1 show, borrowed more than $2 million from the federal program designed to keep struggling businesses afloat amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Which, by the way, from what I understand, the number of cases is not skyrocketing and going out of control like people said it would when businesses started opening. I just want to make that point. I told y'all from the jump, when I saw all the celebrities announcing that they had it and none of them were dying, not one single A-list celebrity that I can think of has died, that told me that it probably wasn't as bad as people say. Although there are real deaths out there. I actually know somebody who died from it, but he also was extremely obese, had diabetes, and a lot of other issues. So I think in general, if you want my recommendation for you guys, I'm not going to tell you whether you should leave your house or stay home. If you got it like that and you got big bankroll in the bank and you can just sit at home all day, then please do that, because sitting at home is better. It's more fun anyway. But if you got to go out and go to work, start taking care of yourself. Start exercising. Start eating better. Start making sure you get enough rest. Avoid stress. Keep your immune system strong so that when these viruses, which there are many of them out there, when they hit you, they're not going to take you out. Okay, so that's my 2 cents. That's what I'm sticking with. That's my official policy on the whole pandemic situation. All right, so let's keep going. Maurice Thane, who goes by the name Arkansas Mo on the hit VH1 show, borrowed more than $2 million. Authorities said he borrowed the money for his transportation business, Flame Trucking. On his application, He requested more than $3.7 million for his company, so you can't say he doesn't think big. He said that he had 107 employees and a payroll of $1.5 million. I believe that's per month. That's a big payroll, $1.5 million a month. Thane certified that the loan proceeds would be used to retain workers, maintain payroll, and make payments, the DOJ said in a news release. The reality star received just over $2 million. Within days, however, Thane allegedly spent more than $1.5 million of the loan, including $85,000 in jewelry. Damn! Why does everybody want to be a rapper? Why are you imitating the stupid financial decisions of rappers? And you know what's really crazy? I'm not talking about this guy. I don't even know this guy. He's innocent till proven guilty. That's my official position on this. But let's talk about niggatry for a moment, shall we? Let's just really talk about this. Is anybody else irritated with this fact that rappers believe and feel that they have to take a big chunk of money and buy more jewelry than any human being would ever need, and then they go buy it from some white guy? Like there are stupid white guys like Jake the Jeweler, and they'll give them free advertising in a song. They'll give them $1 million worth of free advertising, right? And literally will talk about how much they love Jake the Jeweler. There's another rapper, Lil Yachty. He's broke too, or close to it. He's probably real broke now that he can't go out and perform. Lil Yachty, if I'm not mistaken, his whole cash flow situation was all messed up. And somebody leaked out some text messages where he's texting this jeweler talking about, hey bro, I promise you I'm going to get you your money. I'm going to get you your money. So you telling me you going broke because you have to make sure that your white jeweler gets paid? Are you kidding me, Negro? Are you kidding me? You didn't go broke because because you're trying to make sure all your cousins and them are okay financially. You didn't go broke because you're trying to make investments in the hood so you can elevate your neighborhood and get your community off the ground, right? You didn't go broke for black people. You went broke for white people. Let me keep going. I'm going to stop. There's black jewelers out there, by the way. You do know that there are black jewelers. I'm not saying he went to a white jeweler. I don't even know this guy. Let me keep going. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Thane allegedly spent $1.5 million of the loan within a few days, including $85,000 in jewelry, including a Rolex presidential watch and a diamond bracelet. I'll be damned. I'm going to look this up. Rolex presidential. If y'all ever see me wearing a Rolex presidential watch, I need y'all to know right now it's going to be fake. It's going to be fake. But when you have money, you can wear fake stuff and people will think it's real. It's just a little trick that rich people do. They buy fake shit and but people think it's real because they're like, well, you're rich, so of course it's real. Rolex president, that's a nice watch. Wow. So shimmery, so shiny. Okay, the prices I'm seeing for Rolex presidential watches. This one's $150 or $399,000. Who would pay that much money for a watch? Would anybody give me a yes or no? Yes or no in the chat. Yes or no. How many of you would pay, if you had the money, would pay $400,000 for a watch? Yes or no? How many of y'all? I mean, really, I want to just try to understand and appreciate those who just really will like dump it all on some like fancy jewelry. Okay, now what I'm seeing here, this is a Rolex President Day men's watch. I don't know what the difference is. This one's only $12,500. I guess that must be in the cheap section. Now this one says Rolex Daytona watch in rose gold rainbow diamonds. That's the one that's $400,000. Wow, I wish I could show you a picture. It is so beautiful. All right, okay, all right. So let's keep reading here. Let's keep reading. So he bought a Rolex presidential watch, a diamond bracelet, a 5.73 carat diamond ring for himself. He's also accused of leasing a 2019 Rolls Royce and making $40,000 in child support payments. Well, at least your children got some tiny percentage of that $1.5 million. Okay. Um, Again, if this is true, we don't know. If, I mean, for all we know, he could be getting set up. I'm not gonna pretend. I don't know. Thane appeared on several episodes last season as the love interest of Carly Red, one of Love and Hip Hop's longtime cast members, who apparently hasn't done anything. I googled these people. I googled them to find out who are they and why are they famous. Right? See, black people, y'all the only ones that got celebrities that ain't never done shit. Seriously, y'all got celebrities out here with no talent whatsoever. So, I agree with you, Ree Hassie. She's like, who is he? He apparently, supposedly has a trucking company. And I was like, okay, so he has no... I looked up his Wikipedia page. There is no Wikipedia page. I have a Wikipedia page. It's long. It tells my whole life story from the time when I was a baby. And I was like, damn, how did they find out all this information? I got a long Wikipedia. So I saw no Wikipedia page. So I was like, okay, I get it. So he's an add-on, right? He's got a girlfriend who is famous. So maybe she's famous. What did she do to, make herself this celebrity? Nothing. Nothing. I looked in her bio, has almost nothing. There's a couple, I think she's in a movie or two. But, anyway. So let me keep reading. So he's dating Carly Red, one of the longtime cast members. In a May 6th interview with federal agents, Thane reportedly admitted submitting a PPP loan application and using the money for his trucking company, but denied using the funds to buy things for himself. Okay, so he's denying this, right? So again, innocent till proven guilty. Let's give the brother a chance. Maybe this is all a big mistake. On Monday, authorities seized his Dacula home and seized $80,000 in cash, including $9,400 he had in his pockets at the time. You know what's really fascinating to me? I told you I'm a guy that studies money. Money that's my thing. That's my profession. That's what, So I'm fascinated with the psychology of money. I'm also fascinated with how much black people love money. We love money. We love cash. Money moves everything right. If you listen carefully to the lyrics in Megan Thee Stallion's song, Bougie, Ratchet, that song. I got daughters. I listen. I hear everything. I listen to the lyrics, and a lot of the lyrics are basically I got an attitude and a bank account to match it, right? And Beyonce said I pull up in my two-seater. There's a constant celebration of excessive materialism at worst, or economic prosperity at best, depending on how you want to look at it, right? Our music constantly is a matter of me bragging about how I'm flossing over you, right? I got more than what you got. I got, Jay-Z used to rap about, can you see my private jet flying over you, right? Right, with Kanye. Remember that back in the day? So it's really interesting to see how we view money. And it is fascinating also. At the very least, you would expect that with the extensive fascination that our hip-hop music, because we worship celebrities as a community. We tend to worship celebrities. That's one of the reasons why you're losing. Because you don't listen to your experts, your health experts, your legal experts, your medical experts. But you listen to a rapper in a minute. A rapper can give you fucking medical advice in a second, and you'll go take that shit. If a rapper told you to drink bleach, half y'all be at home drinking bleach right now, right? And so it's fascinating that with all the celebration of excessive materialism that you hear in music, which is one of the reasons why the founder of Louis Vuitton is worth over $120 billion, with the excessive celebration of materialism and flossitude, like big ballertude, whatever you want to call it, you would think black people would be the most financially literate people on the planet. You would think that we would be, with all the love and celebration in our music of excessive materialism, meaning that my status in the world is defined by what I rolled up in, what kind of car I drove up in, the diamonds on the dress that I'm wearing if I'm a woman or a man, because you got the guys wearing dresses too. Y'all celebrate all that shit too. Or the fact that I got $9,400 in my pocket, right? I bet most billionaires don't carry $9,400 in their pocket. right? You would think that with all that celebration of all this, materialism and money and everything else, you would think that we would be the first ones to know everything there is to know about investing, about real estate, about, owning businesses, right? You would expect that, right? But that's not the case. So anyway, let's read more about what they're saying here. So he had $9,400 in his pocket. He had $80,000 in cash in the house. Again, and that's another thing that's really interesting too, is that you have a lot of regular people, a lot of regular guys who imitate rappers. Like, you ever see that where you'll have a guy who, in this case, a guy who owns a trucking company, but he wants to be a rapper, right? How often would you expect a guy who drives a truck to be buying a Rolex presidential watch, a diamond bracelet, a Rolls Royce? Like, I'm not, I've made a couple of dollars in my life, but I would walk right past the diamond bracelet section and be, why the fuck would I even want to spend time here? I'm looking for the Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm walking through the mall looking for the food court or whatever, right? Or looking for, something in the $5 store for the kids. I'm not even gonna glance at the diamond bracelets. I'm gonna be like, those are for the stupid people who somehow get some sort of fulfillment or can fulfill their low self-esteem problem by buying something that is not nearly worth what you're paying for it, right? I'm black. I can't afford to throw away money because my community is 400 years behind in the wealth game, right? So anyway, let me keep reading. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. And by the way, I should remind you guys of this. If you want to learn how to buy your first share of stock, one of the things this is my dream. Dr. King had a dream. I got a dream. My dream is that every black person that follows me, or at least 80-90% of you, have bought some shares of stock for your kids. So if you haven't learned to buy your first share of stock, there's a free training at firstshareofstock.com. That's 4 words, firstshareofstock.com. So go to firstshareofstock.com and you can find it. Type that in the chat so that everybody can go there and learn to buy their first share of stock. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, so agents also executed warrants for 3 of his bank accounts, seizing $500,000. The defendants allegedly took advantage of, this is their quote, this is from the feds, this is what the U.S. attorney is saying. The defendant allegedly took advantage of the emergency lending provisions of the Paycheck Protection Program that were intended to assist employees and small businesses battered by the coronavirus. U.S. Attorney B.J. Pock said in a statement, "We will investigate and charge anyone who inappropriately diverts these critical funds for their own personal gain." Okay, so once again, let's just make sure we iterate innocent till proven guilty, right? You cannot indict this guy or convict him in the court of public opinion. I don't think that's right. I think we should let the facts play themselves out. We don't know what the dynamics are here. Now, one of the things, though, that you have to keep in mind is that with the feds love to catch big fish. This is why rappers are stupid. I'm sorry. Rappers in general, not all of them, but many rappers are very, very stupid. And let me tell you why they're stupid in many cases. The feds are a bunch of assholes that really get off on catching big fish. The feds love to have high-profile cases that where they catch somebody who's a big name so they can go brag to all their friends and brag to their bosses, and they can get raises and promotions off of this. And so basically, I believe that his case is Maurice Thane, that's his name, from Love and Hip Hop. I believe that Maurice Thane's case is designed to make an example out of him, so that they can say, look at me, hey mom, I made it. We caught the big black guy who was being flashy. Now, if you remember in the movie American Gangster, do you remember the movie American Gangster where Denzel Washington's character, his wife gave him this fancy fur coat with a fur hat so he could dress like a pimp and be flashy and loud and everything else like all the other hustlers and players and ballers in New York. So he wears the big flashy coat with the big flashy hat, and he goes to the Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier fight. And everybody notices him. They're like, oh, that's the Frank Lucas. That's the big gangster who makes all the money. So he's getting all this attention. His ego is being fed with, now everybody knows I'm the man, this, that, and the other. Kind of doing what a lot of rappers do now. And guess what happened? He became a target of the feds. The feds are like, who is this guy wearing the flashy coat with the flashy hat who that everybody's shaking hands with, right? So next thing you know, he's drawing attention. And so one of the things, there's a point where Frank Lucas gets so pissed off that he takes the fur coat and he throws it in the fire because he's so mad that he allowed his ego to cause him to attract so much attention that he then attracted the attention of the feds. And so the reason that rappers are stupid in many cases, not all rappers, but the stupid rappers are stupid, how about that, is that they love to draw attention from everybody. And there's always this sort of look at me, I'm not gonna wear one gold chain. I've got one gold chain on, right? I'm not gonna wear one gold chain, I'm gonna wear 20, right? I'm going to have the biggest entourage. I'm going to have the biggest Bentley. I'm going to have all the fancy stuff that's going to draw all the attention from from all the people that are going to want to take a piece of what I got or tear me down just because I'm shining, right? So then you're attracting all the haters. You're attracting rival gang members. You're attracting every street thug in America that wants to make a name for himself by taking you out. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine had that stupid tour called Test My Gangster. So you're asking for it. You're basically saying to the whole world, okay, come get me, right? Well, they're gonna come get your ass if you keep doing that, right? You have scenarios where the feds now are like, oh, let's look at him. Oh, that's a big fish. In China, they have a saying. Chinese people don't do that. Chinese culture is very different. Chinese culture, you are rewarded for being part of the group. You're not rewarded for being the peacock. When you're the peacock, they laugh at you. They say, what are you doing standing out like a peacock? In our culture, we award the peacocks. We like the arrogant asshole. We like the Kanye West sort of narcissistic Donald Trump-ish personality, right? And the downside of that is that the Chinese have a saying that describes this. It says that the fattest pig will always get slaughtered. The fattest pig will always get slaughtered. So when you sort of stand out like that, when you're trying to shine extra loud so you can prove to other people that you have this and you have that, number one, you're proving that you've never had any money before, right? That you're covering for some sort of insecurity. That's the second thing you're proving. You're proving that you're insecure. You're also setting yourself up to be an easy target for anybody that wants to come get you, including the feds. So one of the easy ways that the feds have for taking down people, especially in New York, is they wait for these rappers to get it, to start getting all loud and fancy and stupid with their money, but of course it doesn't just come with the money. It's like, the money and the women and the drugs and the liquor and the weapons, and so you're doing a video where you're holding up illegal weapons in the video in a state like New York where the gun laws are very, very strict. So you're holding up your illegal weapons while you're smoking shit at the same time, right? So then at that point, basically, you're giving them everything they need to come and lock you up. And that's what they do. They go to the studio and they pick these guys up. They take them away. They hit them with RICO charges, right? Conspiracy, which means you'll be gone for a long time. Now, in this particular case, for this poor guy, what he's running into is a really formidable adversary. This is why it's really important when you talk about things like the Paycheck Protection Plan or program, stuff like that. You have to be really careful about taking money from the government, because the government will hit you harder for stealing money than they will hit you for killing a person. If you kill a person, you'll get this punishment. If you steal money, you'll be up here. It's real weird how they are with money. So, with him, I think it's unfortunate that he's stuck in that situation. I would say that if you are going to apply for these PPP loans, have your accounting department on lock. Get you make sure you have a really good accounting system, a good accountant. Don't do the accounting system yourself. Have accountants. I have 3 accountants actually, that work on different parts of my business, and I hate paying all that money every month, but I like doing it because I know that when our company went to talk to the government about certain sorts, certain loans or whatever, we had our ducks in a row. We laid out, crossed our T's and dotted our I's and stuff like that, so that if they did come back and say, well, what are you doing with the money, Negro, right? We could go back, I could say to the accountants, okay, can you please show them the records of what we've done with this money, right? So I'm not here to really wag my finger at this guy. I think that he, unfortunately, is making some terrible mistakes. What I see is a lot of brainwashing. This is why I have an issue with shows like Love and Hip Hop, is because they really teach young people all the wrong ways to live. They teach young people, they give them a blueprint on how to have a horrible relationship. If you notice, if you look back, I did the research on this guy with his girlfriend Carly Red. There's all the same ridiculous bullshit, having babies with other women and abuse allegations and everything else. So Love and Hip Hop is kind of this shit show where white people are making all this money. They probably have a black person that runs the show, but it's white people who are actually getting the money, who own the network. And they're sort of making money by really stirring up and triggering black dysfunctionality. They're finding all the things that are dysfunctional about being black in America that's a result of the trauma that you've gone through since slavery, and they're basically stirring up that shit pot so that you will act a damn fool on TV, and it becomes entertainment for other people. And so, unfortunately for our kids, they're watching these things. They're watching these shows, and they're thinking that these are normal relationships. And these are not normal relationships. These are unhealthy relationships. These are relationships where people, could die from STDs, where people are getting addicted to drugs, where people are causing each other tremendous amounts of trauma, where people are going to jail. Just all these horrible things are happening, and we act like that stuff is normal. And then on top of that, because these people are on TV and because we worship and celebrate anybody that white people put on television, they become your celebrities. They become your role models. They become the people that you look up to. And it makes me feel really, really sad for our young people, because they don't get to hear from normal black folks like the ones that I'm seeing every day when I'm talking to you guys. I've talked to a lot of you. You're normal people. You live normal lives. You're raising your kids in a dignified way. You should be the role models of the community, but instead white folks will elevate the dysfunction because they want your children looking up to the dysfunction. They want your children imitating the dysfunction. They want your children imitating the ridiculous behavior that's seen on TV. Next thing you know, a guy who could have formed a nice trucking company and made a good living for a good, healthy, happy family is instead, possibly on his way to prison because he's trying to imitate a fucking rapper. Like, you don't need a goddamn diamond bracelet. Who the fuck has ever in the history of this earth, honestly, seriously, really needed a diamond bracelet? Like you need food. You need water. You need a roof over your head. You need a car. You don't need a diamond bracelet. You don't need a Rolls Royce. Like, seriously, I could afford the payments on a Rolls Royce. Why would I want to spend that much extra money on a Rolls? Why? I would slap myself for being stupid for doing something like that. It doesn't mean you can't get nice stuff. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your life. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying, when you see these people imitating rapper culture, just know that rapper culture is nigger culture. Rapper culture is not healthy black people culture. They have taken the most dysfunctional, embarrassing, pathetic, raunchy ass shit, and they've convinced you that that's black culture. So next thing you know, a show like Black AF comes out. Shout out to Kenya Barris. He's a great writer. He got his Netflix money. Good for you and your family. But fuck you, Kenya, for some of the shit that you put in that show. They have the raunchiest shit imaginable, and it's like, oh, this is black culture. We just being black, y'all. No, when your 12-year-old daughter's upstairs doing booty dances to Megan Thee Stallion while she's rapping about how well she sucks a penis, that ain't black culture, man. That's hoe culture. That is not black culture. So stop that. Seriously, stop that. Stop thinking that black culture must start with raunchy hip hop music. That ain't who we are. That's who they told us that we are, and y'all internalize that because you don't know any better. You never learn who you are, so you're letting your master tell you who you are. So let's just get rid of that, man. A lot of the stuff that we talk about in terms of wealth building and empire building and all these other things, these things are not educational per se. There's an educational component, but they're not purely educational. This is not about somebody giving you an inheritance that's making you rich. A lot of it's really about culture. A lot of the wealth building stuff, if you don't have the cultural foundation for building wealth in your family and in your community, you will never build wealth in your family and your community. If you do not have the cultural foundation to build wealth and build empires in your family and your community, you will never build anything. Why? Because a person that does not have the appropriate culture to build is going to literally walk past every single opportunity they get. You give them $1, they're gonna waste $1. You give them $1 million, they're gonna go out and buy a goddamn diamond bracelet in a Bentley, right? So it's all about every culture is everything, man. So we gotta sort of backtrack and say, what is a healthy culture for me as a black man? What is a healthy culture? Let me give you a guideline on this so I don't sound like a crazy ranting old man who's just running his mouth and talking shit. A lot of your well-being in life goes to three key areas. Health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. Those are the three things that tend to define the quality of a person's life. If you ever talk to one of your friends and you say, so how you been, man? I ain't talked to you in a while. Well, if they had a surgery, they might be like, yeah, I've been a little sick. I had a surgery, right? That's health, right? Or if they have a new job, they'll be like, yeah, I took a new job over at the plant. I'm making more money now, right? So that's wealth. Or if they just got married or started dating somebody, he might be like, yeah, man, I met this new girl that's been going pretty good. And yeah, she got a couple of kids, but that's okay. Right? Like relationships, right? Health, wealth, and relationships. That's how we define our lives. So if you want to talk about black culture and shaping what black culture means to you, let's start with health. Well, right now, you got a bunch of people screaming and hollering about black people dying from COVID more than anybody else. Well, a lot of it's because our health is all fucked up. Our health is out of control. We eat whatever garbage they dump into the black neighborhoods. We don't talk about how soul food literally is killing us as bad as the crack epidemic. We don't talk about the fact that we celebrate obesity. Like that was what that whole Lizzo conversation was. I shouldn't have got any pushback from anybody when I said I love Lizzo, but I don't like the celebration of obesity in a community that's dying from obesity. I don't celebrate black death with you. I'm not going to celebrate death in the black community like you are. Now those same people who gave me the backlash are whining and complaining because black people are dying from COVID. Well, guess what? I got a call yesterday about a friend of the family who died from COVID, and unfortunately, the poor guy was not where he needed to be health-wise. And I'm not saying that he deserved it. Nobody deserves it. I'm just telling you guys the truth. So let's keep going. So health. So health might mean physical and mental health, whatever that means to you. Taking care of yourself, exercising, eating right, doing the things that you need to do to be mentally healthy, raising mentally healthy children, loving each other, giving each other, positive reinforcement and supporting each other so we can be mentally and physically healthy, quarantining yourselves from white people to some extent, right? Getting away from white supremacy. That's an important part of your mental health. Well, let's go to wealth. Well, what does wealth mean? Well, wealth means that every black child in America should own shares of stock on the day that they are born. If you love your children and you love your baby, you're going to have a newborn baby. My daughter, I raised her since she was 9. I've been in her life since she was 9, so she's my daughter. She's having a baby, and I told her, I said, we're gonna bring the baby into the world with some shares of stock as a gift. That's what we're going to do. So every black child should own shares of stock that are being consistently purchased for them so they can have assets when they get older. Every black child should grow up knowing that it's better to be an owner than to be a renter, right? So they should all value home ownership as a core value, as an aspiration, a sole aspiration they should have, from the time they're little. Third, every black child should learn how to start a business by the age of 12 so that they can have options, economic options in case the white man ain't hiring no more, in case another coronavirus situation pops off and you got to find a way to pay the bills. Every black child should have more skill in building businesses and building wealth than they have in football, basketball, and cheerleading camp, right? So what's the third part? Relationships. I think that we have to really sort of think about what relationships are in our community. I think black men have to really sort of think about where we might have gained some toxic, unhealthy behaviors from slavery, from hip-hop music, telling us that women ain't nothing but bitches and hoes, and that we supposed to run around here dipping our penis into any toxic waste dump that happens to have a big booty attached to it, that we should go around here, just putting ourselves in these stupid situations that cause us to have a difficult time raising and building a family later on. It's very difficult to start a family when you got 8 babies mamas and 14 kids. It's just hard to sort of just start over, with a new family. When you're imitating rappers like Future who make you think it's cool to have 10,000 babies mamas. That's not cool. I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about you. It's bad for your kids. Your kids are going to be mad at you. They're not going to like you. Your baby's mom's going to drive you crazy. But it's really bad for you because you won't have the energy or the resources, money, the time, none of that to go take care of all these goddamn kids. It's really, really hard. I've seen guys break down in tears because they got so many babies, mamas, and kids. And it's just sad. It's very sad to watch. So when you talk about relationships, I think really understanding what that means for you. I'm not here to talk you into marriage or out of it. I don't care what you choose to do. I'm just here to encourage you to understand the landscape and to understand how family plays a huge part in your ability to have wealth, to build your empire. Your empire does start with your family. Your family is your first family business. Marriage is a business contract. That's what it is. It is a legal contract, just like a contract you sign to go do business with a corporation. So you want to understand these things. Your relationships with your woman, with your man, You want to understand your relationships with each other and how that matters. Having the right people around you. Chopping off those negative motherfuckers. Getting rid of all the people that are the Debbie Downers in your life, that are getting in your way, that are slowing you down. And get around people that are going to encourage you, that are going to uplift you, that are proud to be black, but also going to bring positive energy and positive things to your table. People that are more likely to be able to help you in your business than they are to actually just come and just constantly be a drain on your business. So these little things make a big difference in shaping your culture. So I don't believe, here's what I believe. I'm going to break this down right quick. Here's what I believe. I believe black people, before we were black, we were human. Before we were black, we were human. And part of being human, to me, means that there's no one way to be black. Sure, we have some commonality. Sure, we have some themes that we connect on. We have some things we have in common, for sure. But first and foremost, I want you to have your shot at being human. Being human means being whatever it is that you want to be, right? That means that you have to be who you're going to be without too many distractions from media. Don't take your cues from media, because all they know how to do is all they know how to teach is how to be a nigga. All shows like Love and Hip Hop, all hip hop music knows how to do is to teach you how to be a nigga. So if you want to be a nigga, then great. They got a nigga training manual out there, but I don't want to be a nigga. I want to be a black man. The educational system doesn't, all they know how to do is teach you how to be a slave, right? The public school system, private universities, all this other stuff, they know how to teach you to be a slave. Their goal is to teach you how to go from being a low-paid slave to a high-paid slave. I believe that if you're trying to truly be human, and then be a black human on top of that, I think that you have to take it upon yourself to say, what does black culture mean to me? What does black culture mean to me? And how do I stay on code with that culture? How do I commit to that culture? If you are on code with your culture and you have a group of people around you, maybe you and your spouse and your children, and you guys are on code with the culture that you agree upon. Like in our family, I'll give you an example. Our family culture is, and I define the culture because I'm the fucking man in the house. Our family culture is, we believe in education. We believe in educational excellence. We push, if we take a class, we're gonna get straight A's in that class if we can. If not, we're gonna do our best. We believe in personal responsibility. That the number one determinant in the outcomes in your life comes down to you and what you choose to do. I reinforce that commitment on a daily basis. We believe that family is bond. That all you got in this world is family. You and your siblings, you don't never turn your back on your family. You never steal from your family. You never undermine anybody that came out of this house, right? What else? We believe also in healthy eating. That comes from my fiance. She tells me, hey boys, we're not gonna eat that today. Right, so and I get mad, but I do it. I most of the time I follow that culture, right? I stay on code with that, right? So again, health, wealth, and relationships. What also do we believe about wealth? We believe in things like saving your money, investing your money, knowing how to start a business, understanding your economic power and positioning yourself for economic power. Coming together as a family to strengthen your economic power, right? Those are examples of little cultural norms that we have in our little bubble that we commit to. That's our black culture, right? And then in the middle, there might be some hip hop music. You might come into the house and hear Megan Thee Stallion play, the Megan Thee Stallion Beyonce song. It's fine. It's life. Like the kids, they I give them the latitude to like some of the things that they like, and it's okay. But just understand at the end of the day, there's sort of an overarching theme that defines who we are, and it's not driven by what's going on out there, right? So figure out what black culture means to you, commit to that, stay focused on that, and that's what's going to help you succeed. This love and hip hop stuff, I don't know what culture that is, but that ain't black culture. That's nigger culture that Mona Scott and her Jewish and white partners decided to put on full display so they can make a bag by basically triggering black dysfunction and watching people destroy their lives in absolute complete real time and making money from it. And I personally think it's a little bit sad and somewhat appalling. But then again, that's something she got to live with. So anyway, I'm about to get out of here, guys. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, one more reminder, if you want to learn to buy your first share of stock, you can do so at firstshareofstock.com. That's firstshareofstock.com. And if you want to go take a look at the masterclass, we met again last night. We're going to meet again next week. All the recordings are available. Feel free to go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. All right, guys, I hope that this was helpful to you. Thank you for listening. It was real. And thank you for being black and beautiful and not being stupid enough to waste all your money on a diamond watch. I'll talk to you guys later. Be good. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.